The government's plan to deregulate the housing market has prompted real estate prices to go up. A marine science base on the Dokdo Islands is likely to be established. A domestic physicist in Korea has developed an audio cable that considerably reduces static. Hello and welcome to KBS World News Today. It's Monday, the 25th of August. The government's plan to deregulate the housing market has prompted real estate prices to go up. But prospective home buyers are expected to hold on in anticipation of further deregulation in the market.
These old apartments are expected to undergo reconstruction. Their prices have gone up more than $37,000 over the past several days. These apartments have failed 3 safety inspections. Passing is the first prerequisite for reconstruction. Apartment prices have jumped due to the government's policy to streamline procedures and ease safety inspection standards. Members of apartment reconstruction unions can also sell their memberships to outsiders.
지금 파는 게 좋은지, 나중에 파는 게 좋은지, 매도 시기를 저울질하는 문의가 늘어나고 있는데 매수세는 여전히 미미한 편입니다.
The market, however, is waiting for further deregulation on the mandatory construction of small apartments for lease.
아직 멀었다. 언젠가는 할 거란 기대는 하는데 10번 내지 20번 정도는 발표를 해야 되는 거 아니냐. 상황을 또 보는 거죠. 그거 하나 가지고는 별로 신경 안 씁니다.
This is why many analysts say the market will take a wait-and-see attitude despite the deregulation plan. The market apparently has high expectations for follow-up housing deregulation. Thus, experts are urging the government to use caution in easing housing regulations.
A marine science base on the Dokdo Islands is growing more likely. The base is expected to improve sea exploration and Korea's de facto rule over the rocky islands. The base will be in the form of a platform on the ocean, similar to the size of the science base on Eo Island.
Dokdo is Korea's easternmost islet and home to 230 underwater species, including fish that live in warm, cold, and subtropical currents. Water surrounding Dokdo also exhibits the largest temperature differences in the world. Studies seek to use this in power generation. This is also why the government is promoting the establishment of a science base on Dokdo.
내부에 도움이 되고 땅도 마찬가지죠. 그래서 그쪽에 실시간으로 제공하니까 수질이라든지 수온이라든지 이런 관측에서 모두 이렇게 도움이 될 수 있고.
The exact location of the center is 900 meters northwest of the Dokdo's western islet. The base will be in the form of a platform on sea, nearly 165 square meters large, similar to the size of the science base on Eo Island. Data observe that the Dokdo base will be sent to the World Meteorological Organization in a way to publicize Korea's sovereignty of the islet. $1.4 million of the $37 million budget necessary has been secured, making the base's construction highly likely. The base will facilitate research and strengthen Korea's sovereignty of the islet.
Internet technology has enabled cattle farmers to care for their livestock with a remote control system. Internet-connected surveillance cameras are installed inside the barns, allowing farmers to see their cattle anytime, anywhere. The system will help cow farmers save time while increasing profits.
어제 분만한 송아지칸이 어디 쪽이라고?
여기 두 번째.
여기?
This couple raises 300 cows in Yeongnam, South Jeolla Province. They take a look at cattle barns online and plan on how to raise them before going to sleep. They have 4 cattle barns and used to work there all day long except when eating and sleeping. But thanks to an online control system, they've greatly reduced their work.
또 분만하고 좀 아픈 소 있으면 이제 거기서 보고 이제 와서 치료하니까 좋죠.
More than 60 cattle farmers have adopted the online control system in Yeongnam. Due to the noise and stench, cattle barns are built away from residential areas. Internet-connected surveillance cameras are installed inside the barns, allowing farmers to see their cattle anytime and anywhere.
인터넷을 통해서 부산 집에서 보고 체크를 해가지고 혹시라도 이상이 있으면은 이쪽으로 연락해가지고 수의사한테 몇 번 칸에 소가 이상이 있으니까.
Cattle farmers did not get proper compensation for natural disasters because they didn't present documented evidence. But the surveillance cameras provide them with recordings of their animals, helping them apply for compensation. The internet-based cattle management system is expected to raise profits for cattle farmers.
On Jeju Island around this time, reports say roe deer are devouring and damaging field crops. This is attracting attention to a new deer exterminator that uses solar energy. The solar-powered exterminator prevents roe deer from invading the field and eating up bean leaves.
This is a bean field in Jeju's mid-mountain area with an abundant harvest. An electric fence is set up along the edges of the field. The solar-powered wildlife exterminator prevents the roe deers from invading the field and eating up the bean leaves. It's proven to be quite effective.
요거에 와서 한 번씩 노루가 전기 충격을 받고 난 연후에는 전혀 들어오지 않고 있습니다. 아직까지는.
Solar heat is collected onto the plank and the heat is turned into the electric energy. 9,000 volts of direct current flows through the electric wire every quarter of a second. Any animal in contact with the wire will get an electric shock.
사람이 닿았을 경우에는 일시적으로 그 전기 찌릿하는 그런 감전 효과가 좀 있는데 뭐 어떤 사람에게 어떤 피해는 없습니다.
Previous use of electricity for the fence allowed the high voltage, resulting in a deadly risk of electrocution. The new device is running on a trial basis and can go for 10 days after one recharge of the heat-collecting plank. Jeju's authority will set up more of these fences as damage from deer is increasing every year.
A domestic physicist in Korea has developed an audio cable that considerably reduces static. He first started improving audio cables as a hobby, but now exports them to Europe.
This physicist studies metal crystallization, but is also an audio enthusiast. He's developed a technology to use single crystals in making audio cables that greatly reduces static.
2개 바꾸고 3개 바꾸고 이렇게 증가해 보니까 정말 맑아지고 선명해지고 목소리가 이제 아주 깨끗해지면서 한 10시간을 들어도 이제 지치지 않는 그.
In an ordinary cable, the flow of electricity and sound is interrupted due to the irregular disposition of the atomic elements of metals. But in a single crystal cable, electrical flow remains unchanged with regularly disposed atomic elements. When a single crystal cable is used, electrical resistance is reduced 9% and static is removed. This is a crystallization device developed by a research team at Busan National University. Put metals like silver and copper in the device and operate it for 2 days. A lump of single crystal metal is produced. The audio cable using the metal is considered a breakthrough by audio experts. The research team has exported the technology to a Dutch audio cable company and will seek other markets abroad.
Straw, a symbol of traditional Korean culture, is reborn into works of art through craft work. Here's a craftsman who has used straw as his material for nearly 4 decades.
A shabby straw roof house is by Samjin River in Koksong, South Jeolla Province. The craftsman Im Tae-ji's works with straw under the hot summer sun. The old man's rough but delicate hands produce exquisite works out of the plain straw.
좋다. 지금 젊은 사람들은 집을 브레이크를 안 돼. 농경 문화가 집 문화요. 집으로 뭐든 생활해 나고 뭐든지 민국 옷.
Plain straw can be transformed into the traditional living goods and crafts like the gods of the 12 Harari signs and masks. Lim has produced a countless delicate craft works out of the straw. After the word spread over his skills, he recently got an order to make a life-size dinosaur.
힘은 들지만 재미가 있어요. 나는 놈들은 돈을 사고 집을 사고 그게 재미가 있는데 이거 하나 만들어내면 그까지 재미있는 거 없어요.
His strong passion draws many tourists to his studio.
비올까 싶은 게 이거 문장을 꼭 가지고 다녔어요.
The government has designated him as a master straw craftsman. For the first time, Lim has begun receiving subsidies, but he says he's happier since more people are showing interest in traditional straw craft work. Lim says his dream is to have a small museum to display his works. He's trying to hand down a valuable cultural tradition to the next generation.
Ragweed is spreading like wildfire in the country and posing a threat to the domestic ecosystem of indigenous plants. The plant's pollen is a major cause of respiratory diseases.
This is ragweed, which originates from North America. The weed is a major cause of respiratory disease in fall. The plant was first spotted in Korea near U.S. military bases during the Korean War, but is now found nationwide. Ragweed is designated a harmful plant. The weed's blossoms bloom between July and September, producing an enormous amount of pollen that causes respiratory diseases like rhinitis. Ragweed usually grows by roads, but spreads through wind to national parks, a haven for indigenous plants. It's hard to weed out the plant because ragweed grows to a man's height and lives in massive groups. Authorities try to remove the plant every fall, but a head of ragweed produces more than 10,000 seeds, making weeding work difficult.
번식력이 너무 뛰어나서 우리나라 다생식물의 서식지까지 침범하는 그런 게 이제 아주 문제가 되고 있습니다.
Ragweed cannot be used for animal feed. It must be rooted out and burned for complete removal. The plant is a major threat to the domestic ecosystem of indigenous plants.
If you want to create special memories and gain diverse experience, traveling by train might be an ideal alternative. It's affordable and romantic at the same time. So train trips can be ideal for creating unforgettable memories and enjoying the scent of autumn. Here's more. Cheongnam Station is crowded with travelers early in the morning. Jeep packages offering train trips to famous tourist spots have been gaining popularity these days. A train departing from Cheongnam will take you to a local market in Jeongseon, Gangwon Province, known for its fragrant wild herbs. The market opens on dates, ending with 2 and 7 every month.
서울에서는 느낄 수 없는 그런 어린 시절 그런 시장 냄새가 나요.
This herb, called gondure, grows only in Gangwon Province. Steamed rice with gondure is a must-eat for anyone traveling to Jeongseon. Another specialty of this region is the so-called nose-hitting noodles. The dish was named so because the noodles hit the ridge of the nose whenever you eat them. The next stop of the trip is a rail bike station. Here you can enjoy the beautiful scenery of Jeongseon on a rail bike. The 7.2-kilometer ride between the now defunct Aoraji station and Gujali station offers a panoramic view of this scenic place. Rail bikes run at 15 to 20 kilometers an hour and enjoy popularity among families for their safety. The train trip to Jeongseon also includes a performance of Jeongseon Arirang, the intangible cultural asset number 1 in Gangwon Province. The performance is very educating to children because its interesting plot is based on historic facts. This time we introduce you an unusual train trip. This train will take you to famous vineyards in the country in time for the grape harvest season. Travelers can sample 4 kinds of wines and pick their favorite to enjoy it later.
낭만적이고 로맨틱하고요. 어디 유럽 열차 타야 그런 기분이 나요.
Visitors can also attend the lecture to learn basic facts about wine. The last stop of wine trips is a vineyard, where travelers can harvest grapes firsthand. grapes are in season these days. People are amazed to see mouth-watering grapes. Each person receives 2 kilograms of grapes free of charge. The most unique part of wine tour is wine foot bath. It improves blood circulation and relieves fatigue. Train trips to Yeongwon are also popular among families. The trips are quite affordable and provide fun to children. Their itinerary includes a visit to an astronomical observatory and a tour of cultural places.
가서 보니까 정말 많은 것들을 배울 수 있었고, 우리 또 아이들이 이런 것도 처음 보기 때문에 정말 어떤 교육적인 측면에서도 유익한 것 같습니다.
Train trips are ideal for creating unforgettable memories and enjoying the scene of the autumn. Here are today's economic indicators and the weather. That's it for this edition of KBS World News Today. Have a nice day and thank you for watching.